Sony has released a trailer for their latest movie in the Spider-Man universe, a universe that doesn't feature Spider-Man. This movie is titled Man Web and is already surrounded by a lot of controversy and hatred from the fan base, and rightfully so. You just need to look at the like to dislike ratio on the trailer. I guess I added to that dislike ratio too. The first movie in the series, Venom, was actually pretty good. It is fun and goofy in a good way. But the subsequent movies, especially Morbius, were not on par. Morbius actually turned out to be a massive box office failure for Sony, and it seems Man Web is actually following in Morbius' footsteps. It definitely doesn't look too good for the movie. In the comics and even the games, Man Web is portrayed as an old lady with telepathic, psychic, and clairvoyant powers. But she requires a web-like support mechanism to help her live, as she has a form of autoimmune and neurodegenerative disease, which has left her paralyzed and blind. But the thing is that she could still see using her psychic abilities, and the web-like support system had mechanical arms which she could use in place of her own. But the emphasis should be placed on the fact that she was a blind and paralyzed old lady in most of the comics and the games, except for a period in the comic books when she actually gained the youth back and also became immortal through a ceremony. But that's a whole different thing. The point is that even when she was young, she was still born blind and paralyzed. Taking liberties here and there isn't too bad, I guess. And the young Madam Web wouldn't be too bad if she is played by an attractive actress, which is the case here. She is being played by Dakota Johnson, and she is pretty cute, but can she act?
Emergency, get off the train! That man's trying to kill you. I can see the future. It's like the least weird thing that's happened all... Oh, what the hell?
Maybe, at least it's a maybe in this movie. She's best known for her Shade series, essentially a somewhat peculiar softcore movie series that admittedly made a lot of money. She has also starred in other movies too, but her most famous role still remains the 50 Shades of Grey series. This movie seems to be focusing on characters most people don't know about or likely don't care too much about. And the concept is a little wacky too.
I don't understand what's happening. I've been having visions. I knew he was gonna die.
A movie with the wacky concept isn't too bad. Actually, it would be kind of cool to see what modern interpretation could do with such niche but unique characters in their own setting. However, the problem is Hollywood doesn't seem to have many good writers with talent left. It seems the only thing the current writers know how to do is either go on a strike to ask for more than what they deserve or fill their movies with propaganda. And so this movie does seem to have a lot of feminism in it and also a sprinkle of wokeness, which is never a good news if you're looking for entertainment. Stop it. Get some help. However, if you're someone looking to see through a propaganda speech, then this movie would be great, I guess. This movie actually feels like Sony's answer to Marvel's The Marvels. Not really a good movie to try and replicate. And so, in an attempt to replicate Marvel's failure, this movie introduces 3 women with vague Spider-Man-like powers. One of them is Julia Carpenter, also known as Spider-Woman, being played by Sydney Sweeney. In the comics, she essentially gained the powers by consuming a serum. She was recruited by an old friend of hers for what was said to be just an athletic study, which was actually just a friend to test this serum that could potentially give humans powers equivalent to Spider-Man. She went through intense physical training to determine if she was actually a suitable test subject, and she received a small dose of the serum on a daily basis, obviously under false pretense. But because they weren't getting the result that they were hoping for, one day they administered double the dose, causing her to faint, and somehow when she came to, she actually did get the Spider-Man powers, including the ability to create webbing on her own, something even Spider-Man actually can do naturally. And despite the convoluted process, a power acquisition remains relatively straightforward, I guess. And the second character is Mattie Franklin, also known as Spider-Woman. Another Spider-Woman, I guess. She's being played by Celeste O'Connor, a black woman playing a white character. I guess you can't really have a modern Hollywood movie without a race swap. It's essentially a rule at this point, I think. I'm not joking. The Oscars actually, as a rule, now stating only movies with diverse characters can actually be nominated for the awards. But I will talk about the race for later. The character she plays in the comics gained her powers by taking part in a ceremony that granted 5 gifts, or more like 3 gifts and 2 curses. The so-called gifts were unlimited power, immortality, unlimited knowledge, death, and madness. She was among the 5 who participated in the ceremony, actually alongside Madame Web. Luckily for her, she ended up with unlimited power, granting her super strength, speed, agility, reflexes, and stamina. And this was also a time when Spider-Man had retired. And because she was a fan of Spider-Man, she tried to pretend to be Spider-Man. However, she was doing such a bad job at acting as him that Spider-Man actually came out of retirement. And after a while, she took up the mantle of Spider-Woman. The last one is Anya Corazon, or Spider-Girl, and obviously I mispronounced her name, but she's being played by Isabel Merced. In the comics, she was initially recruited by a spider society to be hunter of some sort. She had some wacky exoskeleton powers. After some time, she could be hunted. Then during the Spider Island event where everyone in Manhattan gained Spider-Man-like powers, she too acquired them, but unlike everyone else, her powers didn't disappear when the whole thing was reversed. Why? I don't know, but I guess that's how she got Spider-Man powers. I've got to say, the way the other woman got their Spider-Man powers was already convoluted as it was, but Spider-Girl's story is the most convoluted. And all of this is just in the comics. We haven't even seen how nonsensical they're going to make it in the movies. Because usually moral writers hammer down something good until it's a piece of crap. But considering they are not starting at such a good place, who knows how bad the end result is going to be. So going back to the character of Spider-Woman, she got race swapped. I mean, the character wasn't really that popular, but it's the intent that's important. Why bother changing the race other than to earn some diversity points? And in the trailer, the woman playing Spider-Woman doesn't look too bad until you see her in a costume. It just looks bizarre. It's as if she's wearing a helmet. At least I guess she won't need to worry about bumping her head. It just doesn't look aesthetically pleasing, at least in my opinion. Race swap doesn't matter as long as it's done in a tasteful manner and not as part of the draw of the movie. Like in The Batman, where Gordon was actually race swap and I hadn't even noticed that and still don't care because it was done in a tasteful manner in the background. Even the Catwoman in the movie was a welcome addition, not because of her race, but because she was very attractive as Catwoman. The only part of the movie that was a little on the nose was this one scene.
All anyone cares about in this place are these white privileged assholes.
Why even specify a race? Not sure. It doesn't even make any sense because the kingpin that she was hunting wasn't even white. I feel like it was an addition made by the actress. Even if she is attractive, she's still a narcissist, considering what she had said after being lucky enough to get the role. She accused the studio of not casting her before in The Dark Knight Rises, apparently because she was black. I mean, entitlement at the max. Why would you automatically assume you were better than Anne Hathaway? Maybe you weren't good enough back then. Or maybe Anne Hathaway was way better than you. She's one of those people who will make everything about a race instead of taking any personal responsibilities. I guess I went a little off topic there, but the point is they took the Disney route instead of the Warner Bros. Route. I mean, at least they ticked some of the boxes when it comes to diversity. They got the black woman and the Hispanic girl. And I'm pretty sure one of the 4 or even all 4 of them are going to be big fans of eating Arby's roast beef sandwich. I mean, so that they can tick another box. But unfortunately, they are not at the top of the game. They forgot the fat character, Marvelous Beast. Marvelous Fastos from Eternals. He was a diversity trifecta, which I call the BFG. And I feel like studio heads usually salivate over having a BFG. Even The Peacemaker, a pretty funny show, had a BFG in it. And in my opinion, she was the worst part of it. Not because she was a BFG, but because she was really annoying. And as far as the movie is concerned, the main job of it is to essentially prove that, just men can be Spider-Man, I guess. Is it gonna accomplish that job? Well, that's a whole different story. And so the villain of the movie, at least from the trailer, seems to be Ezekiel Sims. In the comics, he essentially got his powers during one of his explorations in a spider temple. I think for the most part, he has all the same powers as Spider-Man, except for the web swinging, as Spidey developed them himself due to his ingenuity. But he definitely didn't wear a spider costume in the comic. In the movie, he does seem to have a costume on, and this costume looks eerily similar to Venom's appearance. I feel like Sony might want to fool the normal audience into thinking the movie has Venom in it. I mean, Sony is no stranger to applying deceptive practices in their trailers. They scrubbed the Spider-Man poster from the Morbius movie, even though it was in the trailer of the movie, but at least the costume will still be present in the movie, I guess. Unlike the Morbius and the Spider-Man poster. And I do hope there is no thinking that people might actually believe that the real Spider-Man is going to show up due to all the costumes looking a lot like Spider-Man's costume. And the costume itself, I mean the Ezekiel Sims, looks awful. It looks like a short, fat man wearing a leotard with a mask and pants, which is strange because I know the actor who's playing him is pretty slender. Is this a Black Widow situation? The actor playing him is 1.7 meters tall, which is not that tall, but it's not that short either. The thing is, Tom Holland is shorter at 169 and he still looked good in the costume for the most part. So it's just kind of weird that they made him look so odd in the costume. If you go to the directorial side of the movie, this movie was directed by S.J. Clarkson, obviously a female. She has a total of 2 movies under her belt, including this one, and the other was a comedy. I'm being a little disingenuous because she has directed a lot of TV shows, but it doesn't matter. Lack of experience shows both in the action scenes and even in most of the action scenes in the trailer. And this is a trailer. They're supposed to pick out the best scenes from the movie. I guess only like casting directors instead of hiring them, just like Marvel. So let's get into some of the scenes in the trailer. The first action scene illustrates the lack of experience from the director. The spinning is very incomprehensible, at least to me, because I can't really follow the action in any shape or form. It would have been much better if the camera actually spun with the villain, keeping the focus on him. It almost feels like an attempt by her to replicate the scene she saw in some other movie, without really understanding what made it work in that other movie.
An emergency, get off the train. Someone's trying to kill you. What? Who are you? What is going on? What the hell? She didn't see that coming? That's not how it works.
I mean, if these girls don't get an Oscar, I'm gonna be furious, especially her. I mean, she deserves one just due to the merit of her birth. I mean, that's how awards work nowadays, right? Like I said before, the Oscars actually have a policy in place that only qualifies a movie for an Oscar if it has diversity in it, meaning it has to have a diverse actors or directors, or the story has to revolve around diversity in one way or the other, which is just crazy, but that's the world we live in now, I guess. Anyways, when it comes to acting in the movie, I don't get why most of the line deliveries are so flat, especially by Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney, who don't seem to be that bad in other stuff that they're in, but here they just don't seem to care. To be honest, it's the same case with most of the other cast. The line delivery from all of them are really bad. To me, at least, my belief is that if everyone's acting is bad, then it probably has something to do with the director that they're working with.
This is an emergency, get off the train. Someone's trying to kill you. What?
I mean, just this train scene alone. What was the direction given? Was it to try and practice ASMR while warning those people? Or shouldn't she be a little more serious and frantic? It feels like she's just taking a pleasant stroll through the park and just greeting everyone. And the writing isn't any better. The way the 4 of them are connected is the most convoluted piece of BS I've ever heard. It's like our 5-year-old would connect people.
I recognize you. You live in my building. You're the paramedic.
Yeah, you almost ran me over.
You don't think this is weird? How we're all connected?
And I gotta say, this trailer definitely gives off a CW vibe. And if anyone is still left, thanks for somehow making it till the end. I know it was an arduous task. I mean, my voice does feel like chalk on a blackboard. Again, thanks for making it till the end. And if possible, maybe give the video a like and also perhaps subscribe if the video wasn't too annoying. My closing thoughts are, if you're aiming to make money at the box office, don't cast directors, hire them, unless this movie actually makes a lot of money, then I guess I would be wrong. Keep on casting though.